We now move on to written skills. The written word is very, very important, and this is the most important. Any message that is in a written form is referred to as a written communication, and it is the most important and most effective mode of business. Some forms of written communications that are used internally for business operations include memos, reports, bulletins, job descriptions, employee manuals, emails, and instant messages. Written communications used with clients or other businesses include emails, internet websites, letters, proposals, faxes, contracts, advertisements, brochures, and new releases. Here, let me give you some tips on email writing. Use a sensible email address. Include a clear subject line. Keep the font style and size standard. Use salutations and simple language. Always end emails with a message. Read emails thoroughly before sending. Include a signature. Reply to emails promptly. Let us see what are the advantages of written communication. The first, no need for personal contact. Let me state an example to make it clear. If the boss wants to tell the employee that he needs to do overtime, rather than telling him face to face, he can just send an email. Second, it saves money. You need not spend money on a long distance call when you can easily send an email. Third, it is a written proof. In case of any dispute, you have the written proof with you. Let us now look at what could be the disadvantages of written communication. The first one, delay in communication. So maybe the written matter or the email might not reach the recipient in time. Secondly, it lacks secrecy. If it is on paper, then anybody can read it. And third, it's costly. Let me give you an example to make this clear. If the sender and the receiver are sitting next to each other and you still need to use the written communication, then you must pay for the paper or the internet service. To improve your writing skills, you can work on the following. Read. Reading can help you become a better writer. It expands your vocabulary. Proofread. After you have completed the first draft, make sure you proofread. This ensures that your message is clear and correct. Know your audience. You write by tailoring your communications to the person that will be reading it. For example, if you're sending an email to your boss, it is best to steer clear of text talk like LOL, ASAP, etc. Exercise. No, not physical activity, but practice written communication. Get a second opinion. Have a trusted friend, a colleague, or a family member review your words. They can help you catch errors and typos that went unnoticed even when you proofread. But not only this, they can also give you feedback about your style of writing. Physical barriers. If you are picturing closed doors, high cubicle walls, closed off areas, then you're getting the right picture. Such kind of barriers, which are called as tangible barriers, separate the teammates. Remember, keep office doors open to remain approachable, or set regular office hours where team members can stop by with questions and feedback. Cultural barriers. A diverse team is always more creative, more productive, and more profitable. But having people from different backgrounds is not very easy. Have employees create guides or user manuals that share information about how to work with them. You can celebrate the differences on your team with various events and educational opportunities. Language. It's not just about different dialects, but also jargon. Let me explain with an example. If a marketing team member meets up with a finance team member and speaks to him using the industry lingo like PPC and top of the funnel, there is going to be confusion, and that confusion is inevitable. 1. Be mindful of jargon. 2. Remember body language too. Various gestures and postures are viewed differently by different people. For example, the OK sign which we use is fine in India and America, but not in Brazil. 3. Use visuals, demonstrations, and examples where possible. Perceptual barrier. Imagine if you went into a meeting thinking that it was going to be a waste of time. Will you participate in the meeting? Will you ask questions? Will you be even interested in it? No. So probably your motivation will run low. This is an example of a perceptual barrier. Remember, support your points with facts and evidence. View situations from a different perspective. Ask clarifying questions. Interpersonal barriers. Let me explain this through an example. Supposing you have a meeting with a client. The client insists that what they are saying is right, and they refuse to listen to you. Obviously, it's going to be a difficult discussion where you feel no connect with the client. This is an example of interpersonal barrier. Remember, breathe. Secondly, remember to listen and give others a chance to speak their mind. The gender barrier. There is no limit to the amount of stereotypes and generalizations that are there with regard to how men and women communicate differently. Remember, making personal user guides helps. Encourage team members to have open conversations on gender biases. Emotional. Emotions and communication are very, very closely related. If you are feeling uneasy, if you are anxious, or if you're angry, then you will not speak up. Remember, know when to walk away, or practice naming your emotions. The concept is name it to tame it. So if you are angry, say that you are angry. If you master your communication skills, you will have improved professional skills, stronger bonds with people, quick problem solving abilities, strong decision making capacity, more productivity, consistency, strong business relations, and definitely more confidence. We have with us Mr. Satish Mehta, who has more than 40 years of experience in the financial services sector. I would like to ask you some industry-specific questions related to communication skills.
Okay.
So my first question is, how would you handle an executive who does not communicate too well?
Well, I wish there was a short answer to this, but here it is. Communication has got different facets, as you covered in the module.
Yes.
For example, it is verbal versus written. It's spoken versus the non-verbal communication.
Yes.
So the first thing would be to identify what aspect of communication does he have a issue with in the context of his job.
Okay.
Now, if he's terrible with a particular aspect of communication, maybe he's not fit for that particular job which requires him to communicate all the time, and maybe his skills and his aptitude is somewhere else.
Right.
Of course, then the next part is to counsel him and talk to him, encourage him to read or to write, which is always a way of improving your communication.
Yeah.
He could have a language barrier. Now, that could have a reflection on his efficiency, on his turnaround time of a file, on his conversion of people who applies, because he doesn't communicate what he knows He might be very knowledgeable. So I think you need to find out which aspect is a problem.
Yeah.
Is it that the job is wrong, what he's doing, or his role is different and needs to be adjusted?
Right.
Or does he need some training? That's the other way of doing it. And I think that's what you really need to focus on. Does he need training on communication? Does he need encouragement on communication? And that's what will help him, I think.
Okay. Yes, I agree with that, because I think it's up to the management to identify and provide the training.
True. And it's up to the person to then respond to that and actually take it forward.
Right. My second question is, how would you describe how one needs to be careful when there is sensitive information involved?
So sensitivity in the financial services sector takes on different hues and meanings. So let me take a couple of examples to make the point. Say you're working in the recoveries or the collection department of a bank or an NBFC or a housing finance company, and you've been mandated to visit 20 people who have not paid on time and try and understand and help them work it through. And you go there and you find there's been a death in the family. Then that entire script that you had in your head, which was to get the money back, will have to take a different path.
Right.
You'll have to be sensitive to that, you'll have to empathize with them, and you'll have to then still find a solution which works in the context of what has happened.
Right.
The other sensitive information is when somebody comes to you for a loan. Again, that time he's sharing a lot of personal information, be it tax returns, bank statements and all. Respecting the sensitivity and the privacy of that, not leaving papers lying around, not leaving them loose, not talking about them unless it's a one-to-one with your boss because you want to discuss the case. This is another way of handling sensitive information. And customers will sense it.
Yes.
Right? For example, if you're sitting there with a customer as a credit appraiser, and you suddenly shout across the aisle and say, oh, this person wants 10 lakhs and his income is only 2 lakhs, should I give him that loan or not? Now you've just publicly shared private sensitive information.
Right.
So right through the processing of a loan all the way to recoveries and disbursement, you have to be sensitive. And the best way to be sensitive to me is that you put yourself in that person's shoes. How would you want to be treated?
Yes.
If that's how you want to be treated, you will know what is right and wrong straight away.
Right. So it's the key here is to be empathetic.
Yes, and not sympathetic. I just want to clarify because a lot of people mix empathy with sympathy.
Right.
Sympathy is to say you're sorry. Empathy is to actually step over into the other person's shoes and then identify with the issue or the problem.
So Mr. Mehta, how would you handle a customer who's been charged with a withdrawal fee, and wrongly charged, I would say, with a withdrawal fee, or there's a delay in processing his file?
So, this happens all the time. I mean, I'm not saying it's an industry-wide phenomenon, like with a very high percentage of occurrences, but it happens.
Okay.
The first thing is to, probably say sorry. And I think that's something people don't know how to do. And I mean sorry full stop. Not sorry, but it wasn't me. Sorry, it was another department. It's like you go to a restaurant and the food is bad and you're yelling at the waiter. The waiter is not going to say the cook messed up. Right? I mean, you always shoot the messenger. And in this case, you are the messenger. So if somebody has been wrongly charged, you need to recognize it and immediately comfort the person. Because beyond that charge, there is also an irritation, an anger, a frustration, which if you don't read, you won't empathetically relate to him. So the first thing you should do is recognize his irritation or his anger or his disappointment. And these are very powerful words. You then immediately assuage him by doing two things. One, assuring him that the fee will be given back to him in the example you gave. Also, the file has been extraordinarily delayed and that's messing up his payment schedule to the developer, for example. The person can genuinely be pretty upset about it. What can you do to correct this? Can you fast forward what is left to be done so that you catch up with the delay? Can you speak to the builder? So find some effective, objective solution. Most probably you as a bank or a housing finance company will have a relation with the with developer.
Yes.
Assure him that you or your team members will talk to the developer and not charge him interest because of the delay in payment, because the delay happened from the lending institution side. So I think knowledge, empathy, solutions, is no point saying I'm sorry all the time,
Right.
because when somebody is irritated, sorry is the most abused word in the English language.
Yes.
Because you don't do anything about it.
Right,
So
right.
do something about it. That's most important.
So one last question.
Sure.
What do you think? Are there any problems that the financial services sector would face in today's digital world?
I don't think I would classify them as problems. I think they're actually opportunities. They're opening up new dimensions of communication. Zoom calls, for
Yes.
example. Emails, which came some years ago, but
Yes.
still was not there, say 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Right.
And these are different nuances of communication which challenge your capacity to communicate,
Right.
but also at the other hand give you an opportunity. So what earlier we could only do by talking physically,
Right.
then moved on to telephones, then moved on to telegrams, then moved on to emails,
Right.
and now we do Zoom calls and WhatsApp calls, where that's also a form of communication.
Yes.
So I don't think there are challenges, there are opportunities. There are opportunities for youngsters to learn different forms, to communicate more effectively, to be more therefore productive, efficient, and and ultimately service a customer happily.
Absolutely. I think that those are really valuable inputs that you have given us.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
My pleasure.
So if you practice these communication skills, I'm sure you're going to be on the way to becoming a very good communicator.